So I'm going to get straight to the tactics board. I have the dodgiest handwriting, but I'll give it a go. Hopefully you guys can see. There's three things that we believe any good session should look like, okay? And it's simply starting with a good arrival, okay? And then we're going to get onto something game related. And then we're going to have a match, but not just a match importantly with challenges, okay? So whatever session you do, the 1, 2, 3 process will generally bring you success. And we're going to go into these in more detail in other episodes. But for now, I'm just going to talk about this first one, arrival. So what does an arrival look like? Well, we all know that we all have schedules for our sessions, and whether you're, grassroots football, parent, dad, mum, coaching, helping out, volunteering, whether you're even more elite coaching, youth level academies or higher, we have the same issues really dependent on a few factors. And that is all the kids, for example, in youth football, they don't arrive at the same time. So what can you have ready on the arrival? Now, again, it should be straightforward to experienced coaches to know this, but things like we call it the big three, cones, bibs, balls, right? So you've got that, you've got it organized. And what I would do if we take this out the way a second, just so we can use this, okay? If we take our area and we base it on having 12 players in the session in this example, one really easy way to set an arrival is setting quadrants up and filtering in players, 3 in each quadrant, okay? And you leave a few bibs in that area, you leave a few balls, and the first player that arrives, of course, give them a ball, let them do what they want, dribbling in their quadrant, so to speak. Now, when the second player arrives, they can then play together and they can, pass and move, do a few little combinations. We may well have gates dotted around, okay? So you can easily have a situation where you can say, well, okay, pass and dribble, repeat. So you got to pass through a gate, you got to dribble through a gate. And as players arrive, you filter them into these quadrants. Because look, when you get players arriving, just doing what they want, balls going everywhere, someone's getting whacked in the face, it's not organized. So let's think about how can we get in a situation where when they arrive, they can get set up and put their bibs on, get the ball, and they can still do what they want, but it's controlled, okay? Now, when everyone is filtered into their quadrants, you can then adapt and start the session. So in this scenario, this would be really easy to have, once all the 12 players arrive, a central point, and then you can just roll with the area that you have. What could we do in this scenario? Well, you could easily have a situation where you have 3 players and you go 2v1. So each quadrant is practicing together. And once they've had that little bit of time, then you can open it up where they all join together. Okay, so what can they do all together? Well, that v1 is just done on a wider scale. Perhaps we have 9v3, overload it, possession based. Loki, you're not allowed to talk on the video, mate. Come here. So he can finish this with me. So what we're going to do is get in a situation where we can build the arrival based on the numbers that we have, okay? And when they all arrive, then we can build it into a session which integrates everyone. In this scenario, we've done 2v1s and we've built it up to 9 versus 3. Now, you can then adapt that arrival. They've all been moving about. They've had their warm-up. They've had plenty of touches on the ball. And then you can move into the main part of the session, which is game-related, which will bring you in the next one. See you then.